357 Ninina, and I was thinking if we discovered it to be a double asteroid or something, we could name one of them Magnum, 357 Magnum or something. You know? But it's still 357 Ninina, and anyway, this slide shows the stations that we had last night, and I can't offhand name them all, but I actually pretty close. The top one is me, and then there's Steve Preston, and then it was John Moore, and then I think Bill Hanna, and next was that Ted Blank?
Yeah.
And then down here we had at the observatory, I think it's Jerry Bardecker. Is that correct?
That was
Over here.
This was Jim.
That's Jerry Bardecker.
Jim Bean was here.
That's right, Jim Bean. And the next one down is, I have it all written down somewhere, you know. Bill Gimple, yeah. And then we have, I think, Rick Nolthenius, and then I'm not sure.
Derek is next.
This is Derek down here, and this is, I thought this was J.R. Bean. Anyway, and this is a recon station in Hawthorne. So I may have some of this wrong. And you say, this is not Bean down here? This is Bean up here?
He came here, but he may have to set up another site too.
Oh, okay.
Where were you?
It was on the Occult Watcher.
I was here at the observatory.
Okay, so I don't know who this is down here. Anyway, that means the next slide has a misleading piece of information on it. Let's go to the next slide. What I've done here is I assume that this path map, which is a couple hundred miles, is 3.2 seconds, because the predicted maximum duration was 3.2 seconds. That's the known diameter of the asteroid. So we're going to call it a diameter with a time rather than a distance. So this distance between, you see my mouse moving here, between the blue lines, the edges of the path, is 3.2 seconds. And what I did was I drew chords according to the estimated duration, not accurately determined, but just estimated, a quick result report. I think I got the thing disconnected. The northern one here is John Moore, who got an estimated 2-second event, and then here I have Ted Blank, who had an estimated 2.7 seconds. And down here, right next to, very close, is Paul Maley, who had an estimated 4-second event. And of course, these are just estimates, so don't be too upset if there seems to be a shape discrepancy. And next to that, I have, is this Ted Swift?
Yeah.
Ted Swift with his 4-second. What was your estimate, Ted? 4 seconds?
Well, 4 is one I sent you and looked a little closer, it was like 4.1.
Okay.
And Rick was 3.
Yeah, and so the difference here is that I drew the length of the cord wrong. It should be a little longer, as long as Paul Maley's, okay?
Right.
This is Rick Nolthenius, and that's about 3.3 seconds or 3.2 seconds. And down here in the south, we have a report that says it's from Jay Bean. I thought it was down here, but you weren't there, right?
No.
Okay, so his 2-second report should be up here at this chord, somewhere up in here. Anyway, the black ones are those who had a miss. We had a miss up at the top here, up at the north by Steve Preston, and we had a miss down at the south at the Hawthorne site, a recon site. And Mark Bowie was there helping that individual make the observation. There was some haze down there, and it was a difficult event. You know, the low altitude and the sky wasn't perfect for all observers, although for most of us, evidently, it was pretty good. And the purple are no observations that I know about, and you'll notice there are a few other chords that I haven't heard from, and I just don't know the results there. So if I haven't mentioned your name, let's see. I didn't get, did I get Jerry Bardecker's?
I told you, I got about 3.6 seconds up in Doyle.
Up in Doyle.
Which is,
Follow the
the
state line
second one,
from the left.
Yes.
On the left.
Okay, so that's what that is. That's the 3.6 second from Jerry Bardecker. That's what I put in there. Okay, and I've left out one or something. But the one at the top is me, and the purple dots mean no observation. And you know, there's always a good reason for making no observation, but I want you to understand that this is the way occultations are. I don't feel too ashamed of it. You know, I've done lots of occultations, well over 100 different events with 150 different chords or something total. And what happened last night is I got about as far as Steve's station, and I said, I'm almost there. I'm looking around for my star maps in my pickup truck. I usually have them on the seat next to me. I looked over there, where are they? Well, they weren't in my pickup truck. So I left them at the hotel. So you know, by the time I got back to the hotel, of course, the event had already occurred. That was over a 2-hour drive up there. And we had no observation here in the middle from Chad. Chad was up, where was Chad? He's in Oklahoma. Chad Ellington was in Oklahoma, and he had a lower altitude for the event than we did. And so he just said it was too low and too faint, and he wasn't able to see it. And down here I have a no observation from Bill Gimple, and without a particular explanation, but as you know, a whole lot of things can happen. So the few who haven't reported, but it's nice to see a quick result, and we did get something, okay? And I'm sure that the shape will make a whole lot of sense once we're done. And so, any questions at this point? Because I'm done. Yeah.
I was below yours from Steve's phone.
Uh-huh.
I have a possible observation here, possible occultation, but my video is so noisy, I really can't extract the times. So you need some further analysis.
Okay.
I just did plus 52 kilometers.
Mhm.
52 kilometers and 8%.
Okay, and I think you're on the list somewhere. That's probably you, or something, or one of those that I... Well, that Bill Hanna was up here.
No observation.
Yeah.
Just took too long.
Oh, okay.
12 minutes.
I think one of these is you and one is Bill Hanna. Yeah. Yeah. So Rich Nugent is saying that his video was quite noisy, and he's not able to analyze it quickly to give me a report, and he's unsure about whether there was an occultation. So that explains one of the reports. Any other questions?
Some online.
Okay, if you read them to me.
I want to push that thing in again. Mic's cutting out. Just
Okay, I think it's
cable in again.
not working. It sounds like it's working to me.
There you go.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, Brad is asking.
Yeah, and David Dunham says, I should have had your charts on your laptop with you. That's right, I should have had my laptop too. And, okay, and...
You want something about your computer?
And then David says, was the star double? Well, you know, this is a very preliminary report, and certainly there is a possibility of that, and we are not able, from the information that I have at hand at this time, to tell you whether the star was double. Brad Timerson says the Bean light curve hints at a double star. The Bean light curve it shows an artifact. Keep in mind that the maximum expected duration was 3.2 seconds, and the big dip we have in the middle of this light curve is somewhere in the range of 700 frames, and 700 frames or 13, whatever that comes, 23 seconds. That's not consistent with an occultation. And the gradual onset is not consistent with an occultation. And so some other factor does this. Now, usually this won't, a particular curve just like this will not occur due to a hot pixel. That looks a little different. But what this looks like is a car passing. And when headlights get into the field of view, what they do is they brighten the background. And so the star looks dimmer against a brighter background. And so iMovie or other analysis programs will show a big dip there, and I'm just pointing out that this is an artifact. This is a big artifact, probably due to brightening of the background, due to stray light, and there's a definite occultation right in the middle, which looks to me roughly 50 frames long, estimating, which would be 1.7 seconds or so. Okay? So that's a wonderful result, and just shows you how you can get artifacts from brightening, transient brightening of the background. Yes, Jim? Sure. Yeah, and then maybe that some of them showing a flashlight at you saying, what's he doing over there? You know what I mean? Okay.
Speaking of comparison, Star Wars, we'll verify that.
Yeah, okay.